Hey, greetings, everyone. Lieutenant Colonel Alan West, Senior Fellow at the Media Research Center. Well, it didn't take very long for the progressive socialist left to find their new military hero. You know, when we think back to Bo Bergdahl and Bradley Manning, we should not be surprised that all of a sudden the left has claimed that Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman is all of a sudden their new military hero.
President Trump is striking back, firing Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, the National Security Council Ukraine expert who testified against him in Congress.
Think about it. At a recent rally, Joe Biden asked for people to stand up and cheer him on. And people are all upset and in arms on the left side saying that President Trump should not be firing and getting rid of this military hero.
I think we should all stand and give Colonel Vindman a show of how much we supported him. Stand up and clap for Vindman.
This person that is without a doubt so important for us. Well, he is important for them. He is important because he violated every single code of conduct for a military officer. See, Lieutenant Colonel Vindman violated his chain of command. Lieutenant Colonel Vindman put his own ideological agenda, his personal agenda, his political agenda above that, which is supposed to be his oath to the Constitution as a commissioned officer in the United States Army. Some people on the left will continue to say that he was a person calling out the president. The president is the commander-in-chief. It is not up to us as military officers to go out there and pick and choose, you know, which orders or which things we want to abide by with the president or the commander-in-chief. If you have an issue, you're supposed to report that issue through the chain of command, not take it upon yourself. And think about it. If this had been a military officer during the Obama administration that had done the exact same thing that Lieutenant Colonel Vindman did, oh my God, he would have been traitorous, treasonous. He would have been a rogue officer. See, what Lieutenant Colonel Vindman did was conduct unbecoming of a military officer. And understand, President Trump firing him from the National Security Council does not mean that he has ended his military career. No. He can continue on with his military career. He will get a different assignment.
Well, I'm not happy with him. You think I'm supposed to be happy with him? I'm not.
But he will not be working in the National Security Council anymore. He lost that privilege. It's not a right. And as with all things of the left, they kind of get things, well, a little bit confused between rights and privileges. But again, think about it. Bo Bergdahl was praised by Susan Rice as someone who served with honor and distinction. Bo Bergdahl was a deserter. Because of Bo Bergdahl, American soldiers lost their lives, some permanently wounded. Because here was an individual that did what the Uniform Code of Military Justice would punish you with death by deserting his post in a combat zone. But yet he was praised by members of the left for standing up.
Whatever Bergdahl's reasons for deserting, President Obama said they were not a factor in the U.S. efforts to gain his freedom.
And having served in combat zones in Iraq and Afghanistan against Islamic jihadists, I will tell you, they don't hold our soldiers, our troops captive for years. Most times they are ritually gutted, beheaded, other types of vile, insane actions, heinous, within a few days, even hours. We traded 5 senior members of the Taliban for a person that supposedly served with honor and distinction. And if you want to tell me that Bo Bergdahl, who pleaded guilty to his charges, but was set free, if there was no undue command influence from the Obama administration, I got some great farmland down in between Fort Lauderdale and Naples, Florida, that I'd love to sell to you in the Everglades. But then also, let's think about Bradley Manning, another one of those heroes of the left. Bradley Manning divulged over 700,000 pieces of classified information, but he gained sympathy. And he was released from his prison sentence because he suffered from a mental condition that the American Psychiatric Association calls gender dysphoria.
Private Bradley Manning had secrets that were not smuggled out on a thumb drive. They were personal secrets, ones that came out during the course of his court-martial for the single biggest military intelligence leak in U.S. history. And today, Manning made it clear with these words in a letter read on the Today Show this morning. I am Chelsea Manning. That's right, Private Bradley Manning plans to live the rest of his life as a woman. His struggle with identity issues is something that did come up during the sentencing phase of his military trial, with the defense team showing this photograph of Manning dressed as a woman.
See, that made him a hero to the left, regardless of what he did in putting many people's lives at risk and in danger. Bo Bergdahl is free. Bradley Manning was celebrated as some name, placed on the cover of magazines, even ran for Senate. See, those are the type of people, Bo Bergdahl, Bradley Manning, Lieutenant Colonel Alexander Vindman, that the left wants to elevate as military heroes because, well, they align with their ideological agenda. But think about just last week at the State of the Union address, when a 100-year-old Tuskegee Airman was recognized, someone that President Trump had just promoted to Brigadier General, a man who flew combat operations and missions in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. But yet, there were people on the progressive socialist side that did not recognize him, did not stand, did not clap, did not cheer for what a true military hero looks like. There are people on the left that were upset about the president pardoning Army First Lieutenant Clint Lawrence, a Texan, because he did what combat leaders are supposed to do: engage the enemy and kill them, not run away from them and desert your post like Bo Bergdahl did. And even people were upset because U.S. Army Special Forces Major Matt Goldstein, well, he killed a Taliban bomb maker who had the blood of our troops and Afghan civilians on his hands. But yet the left was upset about that.
Goldstein has acknowledged the killing, but told Fox News in 2016 it was, quote, a legal engagement of a known enemy combatant on the battlefield. On Sunday, President Trump promised to review the case, calling Goldstein a U.S. military hero who could face the death penalty from our own government after he admitted to killing a terrorist bomb maker.
But they were okay with Bradley Manning being released from prison. And think about all of the hoopla that went about because we decided, the president decided, the commander-in-chief decided to kill a terrorist leader, Qasem Soleimani. The left did not see that action as being heroic and, well, making sure that no more American lives would be lost because of that incredibly vile terrorist leader. See, the left defines heroes based upon those that stand up for their ideological agenda. They don't understand who the real heroes are. They'll criticize a retired Army lieutenant colonel for taking an action to protect his men in a combat zone, but yet they'll praise someone like Barack Obama, who abandoned Americans in a combat zone under an Islamic terrorist attack and then lied about it. As we get ready for this election cycle, just ask yourself, do you want to side and align with those people that think Bo Bergdahl, Bradley Manning, Alexander Vindman are military heroes? Or would you like to stand with the side that understands what a true hero is? A person that is willing to lay down their life for others, not desert America and the American people.